Even if you're a 10 out of 10 Sigma millionaire jacked guy, if you don't know how to flirt, then you're not gonna get any romantic interest. You're gonna get friend zoned a lot. And if you've been friend zoned before, it's probably because you weren't flirting correctly. Maybe. So I'm Joseph Smith. I'm your favorite rhisologist, experimental psychologist. And in this video, I'm going to talk about, first of all, what even is flirting, why it's essential to having romantic interest, generating attraction. What are the prerequisites to even make this effective? And then I'm going to give you examples and 3 different types of flirting that you can implement to have better success with girls. So number 1, the first type of flirting, or actually I want to talk about what even is flirting. So flirting is generally teasing, joking, and you're showing confidence, you're showing romantic interest beyond just your ordinary platonic conversation. And the reason that this is so important is because if I'm just having a conversation with a girl, we're going back and forth, and I don't express romantic interest, then she's just gonna view me as another boring guy who's too afraid to show interest, who is too boring to tease her, make like lighthearted jokes. And she's so used to these type of guys at this point, you know, she's probably talked to hundreds of them. So she's bored. She just remains dry. And that's why it's so important to learn how to flirt correctly. So some of the prerequisites to even flirt in the first place. Because flirting isn't gonna get you in her pants. Flirting isn't gonna get you on dates as like a guaranteed thing. You still need to have prerequisites. You still need to be attractive, have your looks together. You are a confident speaker. You still need these other attractions to yourself to effectively flirt, right? Because if I'm just some ugly dude who just looks like a goblin and I'm walking around, I'm flirting, I'm being flirty, it still doesn't have an effect, right? So I'm not gonna lie, this is not like a magic bullet that's gonna get you girls. Anyone who says that is just, they're lying to you. There's no magic bullet. You still need to be attractive. I know, it sucks, but it's true. It sucks for some people, but really the truth is that you can improve your attractiveness. I guarantee it, most of you. Just by being more lean, going to the gym, and getting some sunlight, really. A tan is great, but that's not the point of this video. So the first type of flirting I want to talk about is a category I like to call schoolyard flirting. So this is where we have your nicknaming, this is where you have your teasing, your competitive flirting. So here's an example. Let's say a girl, she's constantly studying. Maybe she's in college, she's in her last year, she needs to graduate, so she's always in the books. I might call her like a nerd, or I might call her like nerdy girl. Anything that's playful like that, that shows maybe her personality, her activities is a good example. Or like smarty pants would be a good, and that's obviously flirting. Now, before I get too deep into this video, I want to be very clear that I don't believe in this whole negging concept where you're saying negative things on purpose to make her, to bring her ego down almost, to bring her down a notch. I don't really believe in that because it's so easy to backfire. It's really more advanced. And if you're watching this video, you should probably just work on not doing these negative comments first. You want to be playful. You don't want to use this as a way to boost your ego. If she sees that you're teasing her, you're making fun of her to boost your own ego, she's going to catch on to that you're not joking, that you're insecure, and it's going to backfire and she's going to stop talking to you. So keep that in mind. Just don't get too carried away when we come to this flirting. So that's number 1. That's simple, just calling her nicknames. creating her a nickname. And obviously make sure she's comfortable with it and you're not pissing her off, because that's not gonna help you. It just won't. And this is something you can do repetitively, like every time you talk to her, every time you see her, and it'll work wonders if she finds it funny. So the next schoolyard flirting technique would just be like teasing her in any way. Let's say she laughs and she sometimes snorts. Then you could like mimic her, you could mock her. That'd be like a schoolyard tease, right? And then it brings like a lighthearted, playful mood. Number 3 schoolyard tease is being competitive. So this is one that I really like to use because it really brings the girl back to like when they were younger. So it gives a youthful vibe to the conversation. It gives a lighthearted, playful vibe, emotion-wise, which is good because we got to remember that we attract with emotion. Like, it's not like a logical thing to get in someone's pants, right? So a competitive tease is I might like ask a girl if she plays sports. And this is what I did recently. So this girl, she said she played soccer, and I said, oh, I would totally whoop your ass in soccer. And it worked, you know, she kind of laughed, she smiled, and it was obviously, I'm joking. But those are the 3 main schoolyard. You got nicknaming, competitive, and teasing a little bit. So try to incorporate these. These are really good for bringing the mood lighthearted. So the second type of teasing I want to talk about in this video is easier. It's what I like to call direct flirting. So this is when I make compliments and it's obvious that I'm attracted. I'm making it clear, you know, I'm kind of revealing my hand at this point. I'm showing my intention because it's clear that I'm attracted and I'm flirting. So this would be compliments. For example, say I tell a girl that she's cute. That's just direct flirting. I'm still flirting. I'm showing interest. I'm showing what they call in the older communities a man-to-women connection. Really, what I like to call it is just romantic interest. And by romantic interest, you might think romance, you might think sex, but it's not like that at all. There's platonic interest, like I'm interested in you being my friend, and then there's romantic interest. I'm interested in you being my girlfriend, potentially having sex, obviously, but it's not all about sex. I might call a girl cute, I might just directly compliment her and say she has a beautiful voice. Or I might directly talk about some future thing that we could do together. You could be like, oh, I already know what our date is gonna be then at some point in the conversation when you're learning about her. And that's me directly showing that I'm interested in going on a date with her. So that one's pretty easy to remember. You're not gonna have to do much studying. Just be direct, show your genuine interest if you're interested in her. But don't go too overboard with this. You don't wanna shower her with compliments. These flirting techniques, you want to alternate. You want to use different types because you never want to shower a girl with compliments. She's going to think you're trying too hard, or you don't talk to a girl like her often enough because you're being too excited. So number 3, this is one you need to kind of practice and keep in mind, is the push and pull method, of course. This is a method where I'm either pushing her or pulling her away at the same time. And it doesn't matter in which order. I can pull her towards me and then push her away, or I can push her away and pull her towards me. So what pushing her away means is that I'm kind of disqualifying her a little bit. And I'll give you examples so you know what I mean. You can say to her, I'll give you my number as long as you promise not to spam me with messages. So I'm pulling her towards me by giving her my number, right? Because I'm bringing it, I'm advancing the stages of romance. But I'm also pushing her away a bit by saying, but don't spam me. I'm worried about you spamming me. So what you're doing when you're pushing away is you're showing that you're not afraid to lose her and that you also have standards. What you're insinuating when you're pushing her away is that you are not afraid, that you have a bunch of options. And if you have a bunch of options, if you're not afraid, it must mean that you're a catch. So when you drill down to the meaning of pushing away, you're insinuating that you're a catch, basically. So some other ways that you could use a push-pull is you could say, oh, you're so cute, but I can't be around you so much. You're too distracting. And notice how that's playful. I'm not pushing her away like, you're just not intelligent enough for me, but you also are cute. It's playful. I'm saying I can't have you around me because you're cute. So the cute would be the pull. The push would be, oh, I can't have you around me so much. And that's amazing. There's a ton of examples that I could go through, but it would make the video too long. So if you have got to this point in the video, I recommend joining my free community. It's free for the first 50 members, and then after that, it will be a fee for all of the additional members. And in that community, you're gonna learn more examples of flirting. You're gonna learn how to increase your confidence. And then also, I have daily live calls, and you're gonna be surrounded with guys who are also kind of on this quest together. They're going out talking to girls. So I highly recommend joining the community. That link is in the description. Oh, I also forgot, this might either go into direct flirting or it might go into push-pull flirting. But a really good thing to do is framing her as the seducer. All right, for example, I was recently in Thailand and I kept seeing this girl a couple times near my apartment. Like I would just randomly see her. And then I saw her again at the airport and I flirted her. I was like, are you stalking me? Like, are you following me? That's a good thing to do, is kind of frame her as the person who's coming onto you, chasing you, or trying to seduce you. So another thing you can say would be like, oh, you're just trying to get in my pants, like all those other girls. Or you can say, my mom warned me about girls like you. So you're framing her as the seducer in that situation. And that's kind of a push-pull, because you're kind of pushing yourself away and you're framing yourself as the prize and she's chasing you. And once again, there's lots of different examples of this in the community. And the last bonus one I wanted to give you is physical flirting. And the only way that you can pull this off is if she's already comfortable with you. So don't try any physical flirting if she hasn't already had made eye contact with you and smiled, or you already haven't tried some other flirting. It's perfect to add on top of flirting that you've already done that's worked. So for example, let's say I tease her or I call her a nickname. I call her like Smarty Pants. Then if she laughs, I can touch her on her shoulder, or I can touch her on her forearm. That's physical flirting. I'm breaking the touch barrier. I'm showing interest by touching her. You don't just touch, people you're not interested in it. If a girl has ever touched you or brushed up on you as she's walking by, like at a bar, and then looks at you, then you know that it's game time. She likely didn't do that on accident. If a girl touches you, it's probably because she wants you to talk to her or she's interested in you. And that's the same that you're showing when you touch a girl. Obviously, don't be creepy here. I hate that I have to put these disclaimers, but I don't want some guy to just start grabbing a girl's tits because I told you to do some physical flirting and now I'm sued. But just don't be an idiot. If she's comfortable with you, then you do some physical flirting and it will bring it up a notch. It'll show confidence. It'll make her wet. Maybe, I don't know. I've never really measured, but probably. So that's basically the 4. Only do physical once you've already kind of flirted with her a little bit. She's kind of seems a bit interested in you. Don't jump the gun too hard on that, or you're gonna seem thirsty. So let's review. We have direct flirting. That's like just me giving compliments, being direct. You have push-pull. I'm pulling her towards me, pushing her away a little bit, framing myself as the prize. And I can also frame her as the seducer. And then we have schoolyard. So that's teasing a little bit, nicknaming, competitive. So once you start implementing these, even in your opening, so here's a good opening. You can say, you have a really interesting look. And that's a push-pull, because interesting, it means different, but it also means unique. So if I'm smiling at a girl and I'm telling her she's interesting, then socially she has to take that as a compliment. But subconsciously or inside, what she's not subconsciously, but inside how she's kind of feeling is, what does he mean by interesting? Is he saying that I'm like different? Is that an insult? So that's a devious little push-pull, and that's one you can use on the opening. So remember, you don't have to wait too long to start flirting with girls. You can do that after you've established an introduction, or obviously direct flirting would be, you could use as an opening too. So direct flirting, you know, just complimenting her, the way she looks. So use it on the opening. Don't be afraid to flirt. Don't wait till you get her on a date. Do it instantly. And then you're gonna have so much more success in making her attracted to you, basically. She's gonna know that you're not there to play games. You're a confident guy. You're not gonna be her gay best friend. And it's gonna be like that. She's either gonna be your girlfriend or you guys are gonna go your separate ways. That's how you want it to be. You want it to be a yes or a no. You don't want it to be this in-between gay best friend, friend zone BS where you're chasing her, because that's where you're at that point. So just try to implement this a little bit at a time. Don't get too overwhelmed, because I know it's a lot that we covered in this video. So yeah, I guess I'll see y'all in the community if you've already joined, and I'll see y'all in the next video.